So, as a child, we often would play a game called Follow the Leader, where we had a leader who got to vote and would stand up front, and they would make motions or dance or say things with their voices, and we were very anxious to follow along and do whatever that leader was doing. Somehow, as we become adults, we seem to have forgotten how that game works, how to actually follow the leader. We have a leader in our lives, but if we're told something by that leader, we find it necessary to Google to see if there's a different answer, or to do a study on that particular topic. We can't just follow the leader. So I want you to keep that thought in mind. Then I'm going to go for a moment. There's a book called A Hole in the Gospel written by Richard Stearns, and I want to read to you something he's written. What if each of us decided with renewed commitment to truly embrace the good news, the whole gospel, to demonstrate it through our lives? Not even in big ways, but small ones. What if each of us said to God, use me, I want to change the world? Well, what if is where I want us to go with our leader. I am Stephanie Jones, and I'm no different from the rest of you. I'm a sojourner on my way, trying to follow Jesus and do the right thing and to follow him. This came more of a head for me about 4 years ago. I made a trip to Kenya. I was so excited that I was going to get there and I was going to bless the socks off these kids that I was going to serve. Well, I got there and those kids didn't have any socks. That was life-altering for me. And I couldn't understand and went to God, said, why? Why don't these kids have socks? I was not at all ready for the answer that God gave me back. It was, Stephanie, why don't these kids have socks? If you're my hands and my feet, why don't these kids have socks? And I'm struck that I have a sock drawer with at least 50 socks in it at my house, but there's none. And I realized the leader that I had been following wasn't really the leader of the Bible. And then I came across this in David Platt's book, Radical. We are given to the dangerous temptation to take Jesus of the Bible and twist him into a version of Jesus that we're comfortable with. A nice, middle-class American Jesus. A Jesus who doesn't mind materialism and who would never call us to give away everything. A Jesus who is fine with a nominal devotional life that doesn't infringe on our comforts, because after all, he loves us just the way we are. Well, that's the Jesus I had been following. And I realized that in Africa, in Kenya, in the United States, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that was not the leader that I was called to get behind. So I had to find out what if, and then if became I follow. What if I follow the leader? So I had to know what the leader was asking. In that same book, A Hole in the Gospel, Richard Stearns writes, God's asking for everything. He requires a total commitment from those who would be his followers. That was a lot. But I had decided that we needed to do something because my reality was not matching the theology that was growing within me. We live in a very large home. My husband and my children were not excited with my newfound theology, but we all realized that this couldn't be what God was calling us to do. Nothing's selling. Our house wasn't selling, and we realized that also God was not asking us to sit idly by and wait. So we've decided to use that home to bring in other people. So we've got not our nice middle-class American people, but we've taken in some recovered addicts to live with us, and our doors are always open if someone needs a meal, if someone needs just a place to take a nap. Our closets and our pantry is available for anyone who might need clothes or might need food. This has become our everything. We're not affecting the masses, but we are impacting a few. And we are receiving the richer blessing for that. And have gotten excited because now we have fallen into John Piper's statement in his book, Don't Waste Your Life. With these discoveries, I now felt free to affirm God's purpose in my life revealed in the Bible. I didn't have to be afraid that I must choose between what is right and what is inevitable, between pursuing glory and pursuing my joy. I was free to experience the single passion of God's supremacy in all things and joys of people. I was rescued from the life wasted. Now life had the ultimate meaning, the same meaning God's life has. enjoying and displaying his greatness. I found a verse as we've been going through this process in 1 John 2:6, and this has become the mantra for our family. Whoever claims to live in him must walk as Jesus did. So that's become our what I follow. So my challenge to you is to ask yourselves, what if I reacquaint myself with the game Follow the Leader? And then what if I follow the leader? Thank you for listening today.